So after months in the making, it was finally time to start assembling this chassis and see if all my holes lined up. It actually took a little bit of thinking to work out how to sequence putting all the rails and axles together. Doing it out of order could potentially put unnecessary strain on some of the joints, so I took it slow and steady. Washer. Whoa. Oh, bollocks. Wash it. The outside rails, as you can see, are supported off the back axle by these two big cast iron brackets. As it's just a dry fit, I'm not bothering with grease, but I have listened to all your comments and I will eventually put in some grease nipples for the moving parts on the wheels and turntable. If you remember, two of the rails still had bows in them, so these were the ones I put on the outside with bow up, obviously. Thankfully, everything more or less lined up, only requiring a little bit of persuasion to get the bolts falling into their holes. With the two outside rails now fixed, I could start thinking about how the inside rails were going to be supported over the back axle, which meant cutting up yet another seasoned oak beam that I picked up way back in summer. pretty sure I've perfected this workflow now, especially for a beam less than 130 millimeters square. Yes, a sawmill would be better and quicker, but I'm in no position to buy or store a sawmill. Then it was a case of getting it clamped to the outside rails. As you can see here, I'm knocking the rails to be flush with the end of the crossbeam, but actually the rail should overhang slightly because it's going to shrink. So if the wood gods are kind to me, in a few years' time it will be flush. After laying the inside rails onto the new crossbeam, I then bolted everything together at the front axle where I'd pre-drilled the holes. Here comes the rain. Now I could use another length of oak to support the inside rails from above. I'd actually cut this bit of wood with the intention of using it as the crossbeam, but I recently walked into the workshop to see my dad halfway through cutting it up to use for something else, which explains why it's not quite square anymore. So I'm at 2 meters and I need to get 2 meters and 10 mil. So I need to open them up 10 mil. correction, 2 meters and 15 mil. It was 2 meters and 10 millimeters, so I have to bring them back together 5 mil. Okay, that took a lot longer than I thought. The outer 2 rails are now perfectly parallel all the way along, and they're clamped down onto this crossbeam. So now I can take all this stuff off, get these middle 2 rails in the right position, and then should be ready to drill the final 4 holes. Waiting until this point to mark the crossbeam holes in situ meant that any slight mistakes I may have made in measuring the rail lengths and their holes could be absorbed on the hidden face of the crossbeam. These outer ones are definitely more rigid. It's because the span is shorter and they've got that bow, which helps to give them a bit more strength. But the weight of the walls and the roof will be on these outer rails, so that's a good thing. It's a beast. That didn't go well. So there is a slight issue. Because I've made this rail 135, not 125, the bolt isn't long enough now. Once I have the bracket and the nut on, it's going to be too short. So what I'm going to do is route out this head 10mm deeper, and that should fix the problem. Whew, it's heavy. Oh, forgot about that. It's too late now and I'm tired to try and roll it out with the Land Rover. So I will do that tomorrow.
Well, go.
So there you have it, a fully functioning, rolling oak and cast iron Shepherd Hut chassis. Next, I need to think about making a solid steel tow bar so that it can be pushed as well as pulled, and some curved oak roof beams. After a fantastic response to the blue Koto Chore jacket, I'm opening up a pre-order for another batch, which will be shipping in April. So go to kotoworks.com to check it out. Thanks very much.